r/AskReddit by Redmond Dtes. What is the weirdest fetish your past or current partner has? My ex was a cardiophile, meaning she would get off by listening to heartbeat sounds. She had a stethoscope in her bedroom as a sex toy. Never heard of it before, and I thought I knew a lot about fetishes. Apparently hers was pretty light, because some people would actively obsess over the organ. Yes, it is as dark as it sounds. Woman I dated wanted me to orgasm on her food, and then eat it. Hard to look at Little Caesar's pizza the same way ever again. She put on the Fray, and thought How to Save a Life was a good song to do it to. This was years ago by the way, not with this person anymore. She had a blood play fetish, and literally couldn't orgasm if she wasn't actively bleeding from some sort of wound. I didn't stick around for much longer after I found that out. Went on a date with a woman who lived in Lakeland, Florida. She worked at Florida Orthopedic Institute. Told her I had a damaged rotator cuff just trying to make conversation. She told me that it would be a huge turn on if I came to her office so she could watch them carve me open and repair my shoulder. She got tipsy and kept caressing my shoulder and telling me how much it would turn her on to watch them cut me open. Still one of the top 5 most bizarre and crazy dates I ever went on. Still to this day it freaks me out. I personally don't think it's weird, but he likes being called a good boy and handcuffed and told he's doing a good job. Ex used to enjoy it when we would do doggy with her head near the wall and then go hard enough so that her head would bang against it. First time was an accident, but after that she wanted to keep doing it. I had to stay in her till I got soft. My wife loves this. Not gonna lie, it's great. We just lay there and cuddle while I'm still inside. Honestly, it's even led to some hot and aggressive seconds. Ex of mine, he was really into being a daddy. He'd take care of me, cooking, feeding, bathing, keeping me entertained, the whole 9 yards. I don't get it, but it made him incredibly happy. I miss him, lol. Cheating kink, she was into fucking my friends. I found out a year into our relationship. Fuck my life, man. Those aren't your friends. Sadly, yeah, they started stalking me, harassing me, sending death threats, all the good stuff. I said fuck it and moved across the country to get away from it all. Haven't spoke to them since. What the fuck? She had to watch the TV show Dinosaurs from the early 90s. She could only orgasm if Baby Sinclair was talking. It was the weirdest thing. After a while I got used to it. A girl once asked if I wanted to pretend we were dogs and sniff each other's asshole, then I would crawl on all 4s and mount her. That was a short relationship. When I broke up with her, she dropped to her knees and said, "Please do not break up with me. You can do anything you want to me. Rape my ass, beat the shit out of me. Just don't break up with me." I sure hope she got help before finding someone that would take advantage of that situation. Near the end of the relationship, one of my exes was fond of finding people on Craigslist who were willing to cuck him, but literally never asked my consent. Not my thing and I never participated. We lived together at the time, and I would get home after 12-16-hour shifts, and there'd be some random dudes in the living room. After the first time he tried this, I would ignore everyone and lock myself in the bedroom until they left. It was during this time I found the jar in the back of the mini fridge that looked like mayonnaise. I was too afraid to open it, so I asked him. He would finish into the jar, and when it had accumulated to his liking, he would heat it up in the microwave and just drink it. But apparently, I'm a prude for being disgusted. What a terrible day to be literate. Not the weirdest by far, but definitely the funniest. When my wife and I were just together, she often tried to spank me and try and be all dominant and calling herself mommy and stuff. It was awkward and funny, cause she might be all boss babe at work, but the moment she comes home, she's a big baby in a blanket that wants a loving man to make her dinner and ask how her day was. So initially thinking it was her thing, and she was just inexperienced, I tried playing into it. One day I said it was not really my thing. She reacted all puzzled and relieved. Turns out her ex-boyfriend's thing was mommy doms and spanking, and she thought that's what all men want, right? So for a good 2 months I was haunted by her ex's fetish. I once dated another girl, and when she came, she slit her wrist. Said it was the only way she could feel, and that I shouldn't be as intolerant to it as I was. Fuck no. I knew I couldn't fix her, and got the fuck out. I'm white, dated a black girl once, who wanted me to use degrading talk during sex, and use racial slurs. All I could think was if we ever had a bad breakup, she'd be able to say I degraded her and called her the N-word. And it'd be true if I did it. So I refused, and she said I was a pussy and used a lot of degrading language and racial slurs. It apparently worked for her both ways. It started off simple enough. She asked if we could try some role playing in the bedroom, and I said sure. Was there anything in particular she had in mind? She paused for a minute and said that it was maybe going to sound a little weird, but she wanted to play out a scene where Papa Smurf seduced and then did the nasty with Smurfette. Daddy-daughter dynamic, I figured. Not that crazy in the grand scheme of things. She was hot, I was young, no worries. So I dug out the Halloween face paints, blued up our faces, and we hit the sack. It was a ropey first attempt, and I was convinced she was going to just call it quits. I just wanted to make her happy, so, in a Hail Mary bit of desperation, I tried talking dirty to her in Smurf language while I pumped away, whispering something in her ear like, "You like how Papa's fat fucking Smurf feels in your tight little Smurf hole?" And it was like a switch flipped, and she was suddenly really into it. So I said more nasty shit Smurfily, and pretty shortly we were going at it like absolutely feral wild animals. It was without a doubt the most dramatic turnaround of any sexual encounter I've ever had, and when all was said and done, in the end we were both exhausted, but very satisfied with how it played out. But it all went downhill from there. She gradually wanted to roleplay as the Smurfs more and more often, with me playing a variety of different Smurfs and playing out different dynamics with Smurfette. It got to the point where she didn't want to have sex at all unless we were doing it as Smurfs. I was having to wash our bed sheets every couple of days because they'd constantly be getting caked in the fucking oily face paint and Smurf berry red currant juice. I don't even like red currants. Then, she only wanted to talk in Smurf language when it came to sexy times, which made it incredibly difficult to actually communicate properly. Cause she'd say things like, "Do you want to Smurf me in the Smurf tonight, babe?" Or I'd be on top and she'd be moaning, "Smurfer Smurfer." Like, how do you even begin to unpack what the fuck that means? So wires got crossed frequently, and we both got increasingly frustrated. It didn't work out with her for a number of reasons, but at least half of them were because I didn't want to keep having to quantum leap my way through the Smurf village populace to have sex. She's with a new fella now, but you can see that telltale slight blue tint to his cheeks in their photos. That's all, folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more? Have a nice evening.